This is extremely good news for Bills fans as we get a little bit of an update on what's been going on with James Cook and his contract negotiation. First, hi, I'm Dan. Welcome to Bills Digest. Make sure you subscribe down below. Helps us out and doesn't cost you anything. Plus, you get to stay updated on all things Bills as we head into the preseason and also head into the rest of Hard Knocks and what that's going to bring, which is really exciting. But regardless, we need to talk about James Cook because there has been some updates regarding what he as a player wants and what's been kind of going on. Now, we haven't gotten like insider information necessarily, but we have some little bit of information, which is more than what we've been seeing. Because if you're a Bills fan, you know that this entire offseason has been discussing James Cook and his want for a contract negotiation. He's asking for $15 million for the next 3 years, $15 million a year. Is he worth that? That's one of the questions. Is he one of those generational running backs like Saquon Barkley or Derrick Henry who can really bring in that payday? Obviously, they're getting paid out like crazy, and Saquon Barkley won the Super Bowl. Derrick Henry was a pivotal part of the Ravens, like to the point where they probably wouldn't have made it as far without him. You could say the same thing for James Cook, but there were other players on the offense that were getting the ball just enough. But again, the saying across the team was everyone eats James Cooks. That's true, because he was getting those little chip passes, those little runs, those little bursts of speed that opened up the rest of the offense to be able to actually do something. So for the Bills, he is a pivotal player. For Bills fans, fan favorite. When it comes to his contract, it's been this up in the air discussion of if he wanted to even stay in Buffalo, especially with this like talk of a holdout, how he hasn't been participating in practice. A lot of Bills Mafia is asking, is he still wanting to stay here in Buffalo? And it seems that we have an answer finally. As you know, we kind of take a look at his stats here and look at him compared to, again, Saquon Barkley and Derrick Henry. It's just not as impressive. But when we look at his manager's quote, this is from Zach Hiller. James Cook only wants to be a Buffalo Bill. This isn't some $200 million Micah Parsons. That's really good news as a Bills fan, as a James Cook fan. Oh, that makes me feel better that he wants to be part of this team, that, you know, contract negotiations don't get figured out by the time that the season starts. Obviously, hopefully he's participating in practice by then, but if he wants to be a Buffalo Bill, I think he's going to hold out on the team and not perform best, which, again, we look at his stats, best is great. He is a great player. When it comes to that $15 million a year asking price, there's a recent deal that kind of hurts that a bit, and that's with the Los Angeles Rams with their deal. Kyren Williams promised to a 3-year deal for $33 million. That's $11 million a year, and that's hurting James Cook. More recent back change, Kyren Williams' stats are similar to James Cook. He's closer to that than he is to like a Saquon Barkley type, but still, we have to look at what James Cook is bringing to the team, because he's bringing speed, he's bringing reception ability, and he's bringing the ability to break through defensive line. You look at his receptions, he's actually one of the higher receiving players on the Bills from last season. Like, number of receptions and yards after catch. Like, he is one of the better receivers on the Bills, and also can play the role of running back very effectively. He ran, what is that? Trying to do the quick math here, but he ran over 1,000 yards last season, for sure. That's insane. We haven't seen that in a running back and the Bills for a while now. And having that versatile weapon in the backfield with Josh Allen back there is really beneficial to the team as a whole. So, all in all, it's good news. That should just be upfront. This is good news for the Bills fans. This is good news for the team as a whole. And it seems that Josh Allen thinks that that is the case. He went out to say that he wants James Cook on the team. And he understands why he's holding out, because it's your family, it's your livelihood, this your body on the line. But apparently, according to Josh Allen, Cook is still doing reps. He's still out there doing something while he's at practice. He's not completely holding. So this is all positive. Will he get that contract negotiation? That's still up in the air, but it's at least going to be something. Now, one of the writers on this story from F1 Sports has said that possibly contract incentives will be provided for him. So as he hits certain thresholds throughout the season, that will boost his overall payout. And that could be a good way to kind of counterbalance that. Because one of the big issues that the Bills are facing is that salary cap. Bills are one of the, if not the worst team to try and do a negotiation like this, because the cap is pretty much at capacity. You can work around that, though, and that's where the incentives come in. So, amount of yards, you hit a certain amount of touchdowns, you hit a certain amount of receptions per year, get X amount. You'll hear a lot of announcers towards the end of the season start really talking about that. Particularly in last games, some players will just kind of get targeted more by the quarterback, especially in a nothing game, just to kind of hopefully help them hit their incentives. Saw that a couple times actually with the Bills. I think Stephon Diggs, when he was playing for the Bills a couple years ago, the last game of the season, and I remember that being talked about. But we're gonna see something come out of this in terms of new contract and a new payout structure for James Cook going forward. And if it's incentive based, those, again, it's literally in the name. Those are incentives. He's going to want to do better. He's going to want to push himself, but also be cautious. Because again, you can't hit your incentives if you're hurt. So he doesn't want to get himself hurt. He doesn't want to put himself in situations where he's going to be risking that, but he's also going to want to do the thing. So it's a double-edged sword. He wants to get the thing, but doesn't want to hurt himself getting the thing. Balance that. And I think that that's where he's going to find his sweet spot in this coming season. But I want to know what you think. Tell me in the comments, are you excited about this? Are you happy that we finally have some news regarding James Cook? Because I know I'm happy that he actually wants to stay a Buffalo Bill and that it's coming out publicly that he's stating that he wants to stay with the Bills. I think he's to the team. I mean, hey, I even bought my grandfather a jersey for James Cook because my grandfather, who's a little bit picky when it comes to liking Bills players, loves James Cook. So, that says anything. He's been a fan since the team really starting out. So, I don't know. But let me know what you think down in the comments. I want to hear what you have to say. Thanks for watching. This has been Bills Digest. Stay tuned again for all news regarding the Bills for their training camp, for Hard Knocks, and for the upcoming preseason. I've been Dan, Bills Digest. Thanks for watching.